tales of every age. Wouldn't you like to see something strange? Come with us and you will see. It's our world of Halloween. Oh, this is Halloween, this is Halloween. Pumpkins scream in the dead of night. This is Halloween, everybody make a scene. Trick or treat till the neighbor's gonna die of fright.
Hello, I'm the reviewer. You review it, I review you. This is my partner, Mr. It. Today, we'll be taking a look at FootofaFerret's video on Bendy and the Ink Machine.
Do you guys remember Bendy and the Ink Machine?
Me. Shut up.
And then 3 years went by, we heard basically nothing, and everyone kind of assumed the game was quietly cancelled. But then, right as I decided to make this video, boom, trailer drops, and Bendy and the Dark Revival gets announced to be coming out this month.
Believe me, the gift of game necromancy is a heavy burden.
The game begins, and I am Henry Stein.
I mean, we never saw Henry's face in the first game, so for all we know, he might have been.
I swing the door open, and I am greeted with the most excessive amount of orange I've ever seen.
Pretty sure that's more of a yellow.
So I wander aimlessly for a minute until I find... well, that's just not safe.
Understatement of the decade.
And then the game's like, turn it on! And I'm like, why? Not really sure what that's gonna accomplish, but I guess it'd be a short game if I didn't, so whatever.
Yeah, this is just something Henry decides to do, I guess.
Turns out the machine won't work until I prepare its shrine. You know, those very normal shrines you build around power switches to large pieces of machinery.
Hey, it's an animation studio. This is how modern cartoons are made.
Make it move! Make it move!
Ah, sorry, didn't mean to intrude. Yeah, there's ink monsters now. Let me tell you, whatever this ink is, it's not just ink. It seems to be some kind of living mass with the ability to both create and corrupt other living things.
Yeah, ink.
Indie horror games are never particularly straightforward with their lore, but it seems pretty clear to me that these ink monsters I'm fighting are probably old employees who were corrupted by the ink.
Some yes, but this game does eventually explain that these things were an attempt at creating life.
You know what's funny? I never realized this game doesn't actually jump scare you when you die.
I know. Ain't it great?
I see a can of soup ominously roll across the floor, and around the corner appears... Friend.
That may be the most innocent thing I've heard in a while.
She's been experimenting on a bunch of the various ink creatures throughout the studio to extract ink from them to keep herself beautiful. Which explains the sea of dead Boris we saw earlier.
Boris's. Borisai?
The elevator crashes, I pass out, and as Boris tries to wake me up, he gets kidnapped by Alice.
Oh no! Stop, don't come back.
Things are not going well. I'm surrounded by monsters, my only friend's been kidnapped.
How dare you play yo-yo with Boris's body? That's just a mood.
That's right, not only does this animation studio go 30 levels underground, but there's apparently enough space to house an entire abandoned carnival.
This would be like if Walt built Disneyland inside of their studio in Burbank. Yeah, it's a bit disturbing, but you're acting like this is the freakiest thing in the game thus far.
And of course, that means it's boss fight time. But as intimidating as this looks, it's actually really easy.
Hold on to that opinion. You're gonna want to go back to that in a few minutes.
Partially because Boris absolutely cheats. I swear to God there's no way to avoid these jump attacks.
Me. Actually, it's more like get lucky.
But also, I didn't mention this, but I'm playing this on console, not PC, and this fight just straight up does not work with a controller.
As someone who's played both versions, mouse and keyboard do not help.
Now, up to this point, I've been enjoying this game. It's not amazing, but it's cool.
Oh, those are words you don't want to hear.
After that awful Boris fight, I'm sorry to say, the game is just kinda never good again. Chapter 5 is brutal, man.
In my opinion, it's still better than most of Chapter 3.
I bust my way out of the cell, push forward, and eventually find... a boat.
I have never heard someone so disappointed by a boat. Me.
And if you fail, you gotta start all the way back at the beginning.
Yes and no. Yes, it does drop you off at the beginning, but you are allowed to get back to where you died completely unimpeded.
Oh, I looked it up, and apparently what I'm supposed to do here is get more kills than Tom and Alice in a row without dying.
Okay. So, here's the thing with that. What was just described was not how to complete the fight normally, but rather the method to get the aggression trophy. Sort of. To this day, it's uncertain exactly what the requirements are. And I say this as a guy who platinumed this game, because I guess the Meatly never bothered revealing it.
I straight up just lucked my way into beating this bit.
Yeah, that's pretty much what you have to do.
I fall through the floor again, lose my weapon and my team just to wind up in... great. A maze.
Personally, I think the projectionist's maze is worse. At least here you're able to outrun enemies.
Oh, and there's Tom and Alice showing up after I do all the hard work. Same as usual.
He says right before one of the best expectation subversions in gaming.
I enter the ink machine itself and reach the final showdown with the ink demon. And I call it a showdown because this really isn't a fight.
To be fair, especially by this point, Henry could probably be taken out by a light breeze. You really want to try your hand against that?
Whoa. I forgot colors that weren't orange existed.
You think this is what the change to color in movies and television was like?
There's something I need to show you.
Swing the door open and...
All right, Joey. I'm here.
This video was fine. You can kind of feel that Foafy wasn't as into this as with Security Breach, but I think that's more of a criticism of the game than the video. I'm the reviewer. You review it, I review you.